Call her out.
So basically, she's a simp.
Yelena did it all for Dick.
Yep. I was just singing in my head the song, you know, why can't we be friends? Why can't we?
Copyright strike, copy.
We are. It does not matter for this channel. We are not monetized. Yep. It doesn't. It really doesn't affect us.
We have taken some L's on like what we can get away with in these last couple.
We
videos.
Definitely have. Well, hello everyone. My name is Abraham. This is Ben, and today we're talking about Attack on Titan season 4, episode 24, titled "Night of the End." On this episode of 2Fast2Movie.
Yeah. This was an interesting one. We did a reaction. It was really just us just looking and reading and then going like, oh man. Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Because it's really it dead ass. It's like you said, 5 scenes.
Yeah, I think there might I didn't do an exact count, but I know that we have at least the let me get my mouse over.
There's definitely at least 4 locations.
Yeah.
There's the opening with Hange and Jean and Mikasa.
There's Jean's memory. There's his
fantasy, the actual like place, then the forest, then the port.
So that's only 4. And I think that the forest is actually technically broken up into 2 scenes.
Broken up in the mid card.
Yeah, it's broken up in the mid card.
But like Yelena's speech is continuous.
Yeah. So technically speaking, it's only 4 scenes.
Yeah. And what a good use of time, because this is something we needed. If we're gonna have all these characters go forth in the rest of the series.
Well, also like this is the I think this episode gets summed up very well with the Marco sort of bookend to it. The fact that in this opening scene when Hanji's talking about how no one would have wanted this, and like we see Marco, we get a nice remembrance of him, and then we get being reminded of Marco's final words, which have always been kind of like, it's something that's rung true in like so many conversations that they've had about the situation. Of, can we please just talk?
Yeah.
Like, please just let us talk. And then this is finally them beginning that dialogue.
Yeah.
Messy.
I shudder to think of the world that we would live in if Marco was around, because he probably would have revealed everyone about Annie, Reiner, and Bertold before it even happened.
He probably would have revealed, but also like if he actually had a chance to have a conversation, like things would have been very different. But also they just weren't in the mindset for that conversation. They didn't believe that there was a real thing that could happen.
Well, why don't we go ahead and go into the reaction for this episode? It's going to be a very short one because it's mostly just going to be us just talking with like maybe 2 to 3 clips, and then we're going to come back for the post discussion. So we'll see you then.
Where are we starting? Wait a minute. Oh, this is just some dude. Oh no, if we're just starting with some dude, that means...
It's not some dude. John.
Oh, it's Jean?
Yeah.
Oh, that was... Oh, I don't like him with the mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah. She got the assignment.
She got some lines. That's what she got.
Yeah.
Finally.
Actually, her own action, still tied to a man, however, going against the grain this
yeah.
important.
Yeah. She's talking to you, Jaegerist.
Yep. Thank you, show, for explicitly stating who's right and who's wrong on this one. My fucking god. Oh, we're getting intro credits in this scene.
Yeah, no title sequence. Oh, back to this. Yeah, I love how Hanji's like, you think that they would want this?
Oh, I've seen plenty of arguments online saying that they would.
Oh, Marco.
No!
Dude, remember season 1? Remember when he died in season 1 and we didn't get the answer for that until season 3?
Yep.
Wild. Alright, anyways. R.I.P. Sasha.
Damn it, Avery.
The potatoes, come on.
We all know that they're thinking about Sasha while chopping those potatoes. Of course, she's just in her Titan form.
She really is just like sitting there like,
I'm more comfortable this way.
Oh, the pot boiling. You can hear the sound just.
Annie asking the real fucking questions.
エレンを止める方法は殺すだけじゃない。あんたならそう言うと思ったけど、それじゃあ何？対話が可能だとして、それでも虐殺をやめてくれなかった時はどうするの？
You guys aren't gonna be able to talk him out of it. I'm sorry, Annie's kind of fucking right.
Oh, that's.
私を殺すべきだと。
Whoa, 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 hey, we're all cool. We're all cool. He just cut the Levi. He's just sitting there. That looks amazing.
I'm very happy with the dynamics that are playing out of this.
Because
It's so...
they're not friends.
Nope.
And we shouldn't be pretending that they are. This is a very long shot of trees.
Yep. They spent all their budget on other shit, so like...
Fair.
Yeah, you can't be animating
No.
faces too much. Oh, I love the centered shots for all these.
Get out of your Titan. I know you can stay. I know you can stay in there for a while, but
it's just unsettling. Call her out.
So basically, she's a simp.
Yelena did it all for Dick.
Yep.
What?
Hange stew made with ingredients filtered from nearby villages.
Yeah.
Wow, she's very resourceful. This is like in Full Metal Alchemist when Envy was like, Scar, you're the one like just trying to pit people against each other.
First time Reiners ever talked, and it's to defend someone.
Oh god.
I mean, he deserves a punch.
Oh, why are you saying sorry? Yeah, you feel like shit, don't you?
Yeah. You helped enforce this shit. Yeah, that's Levi's contribution to the conversation.
He's been delegated to old man trying to sleep. That's who he is now.
I mean, the other option was corpse.
Yep.
So, okay. We are out of that situation.
Yeah.
Oof.
I mean, Marco's death was like a big...
Yeah, no,
really
absolutely.
Big for Jean.
That was a big thing for Jean.
He's apologizing to Gabbie. Oh.
He doesn't deserve it. Oh, there she is.
Oh, I love the orchestra, like, tuning to the A.
Yeah.
Like, setting the stage.
Oh, is Homeboy already here?
And there's Azumabito.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Yep. So that's gonna have to...
Look at him!
Ooh, stone cold. Oh, I don't like him. Oh, that was the whole episode.
Wow.
Shit.
Damn.
That was very dialogue heavy.
Yeah.
Very dialogue heavy.
Honestly, pretty cut and dry. Not much to say. I mean, a good episode.
Good episode. We're going to jump into the conversation, I think, on that, because bit to dissect.
Yeah, a little bit. We're going to see you guys over there now. Oh boy!
Wow, what riveting reactionary commentary.
Listen, it's you come for the discussion, not the reaction.
At least we hope you do.
Yeah, we hope
actually
you do.
we know a lot of you guys are really here for the discussion.
Well, let's jump into the discussion. Let's talk about the opening scene, which we talked about. It starts with Jean's whole like fantasy life, which you also pointed out something that I was glad you noticed.
Yeah,
I was gonna
very clear that he has been fascinating about his wife being Mikasa still.
Yep, he likes Mikasa.
Yeah,
I mean,
and Eren's like, not really in the picture right now, so like there's an opportunity there. It's free real estate.
He says that in the episode. It's free real estate. I can't wait for the dub to come out. So that can be clipped to infinity. But anyways, yeah, he's trying to shut himself out as Hanji's like knocking on the door and like saying like, "Hey, come on, let's be outside.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about the plan." I found it very nice that they gave Jean the moment that we were talking about, because we were talking about last week how he talked with Onyan Capone about like, when did you decide to work with them? And he's like, I could never forgive myself. Yeah. And we see him grappling with this choice that he seriously considered it.
Yeah, because I mean, his entire life he's just wanted peace and quiet.
Yeah,
and like that's always been his thing. He's just wanted comfort, and he has found himself being driven to basically be a hero, just a reluctant one.
Yeah, I think the need for comfort could on the surface be seen as a selfish choice, but like when you I said on the surface, like at like a first glance, like, oh, you just want to like forget everything, but at the same time, they've been living under the threat of Titans for his whole childhood.
Yeah, technically speaking, he could just let Eren do his thing, and then after that happens,
there would be no one left.
There's like he would get that life.
The hatred would go away. Like,
yeah, he would get that, and it's a very selfless thing of him to do in order to do this, and like John's tired.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he's so tired.
Everyone in the show is tired. No one. I don't even think like we're gonna talk about like the choice to kill Eren, but like there's a lot going on. A lot has happened.
Yes,
in the last 2 days, let alone the last 7 years in the show's canon. Yeah. So Hanji's like, hey, we gotta get together, we gotta get the band back together, get some allies, and Mikasa immediately is like, I'm in.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I personally see this as Mikasa wanting to, not necessarily, she does want to save the world, but she also wants to save Eren. And she wants to stop him from doing what he's about to do.
Right.
Because after that point, he becomes irredeemable in her eyes.
Yeah.
So there is, we talked about this very briefly in the reaction. And again, for anyone that has been part of this ongoing conversation, our gripes about Mikasa have been about her being written to always follow Eren being kind of the through line. And that's still true. However, this is probably the most agency in the entire show that we've seen.
Yeah.
Her making an active choice on her own. It's still tied to Eren. And it's still in some ways rooted in saving him. However, she is trying to save him in despite of himself, which is very different than...
That just like, he's like...
Then he's been kidnapped by Reiner.
That's the thing.
Yeah, which is kind of the status quo that we were really used to.
Yeah. Last thing in the scene is Hanji's really speech that kind of drives home the... Like, if the nail wasn't like hit on the head already... It's driven.
Genocide is bad. Attack on Titan fandom.
Literally, she said, "Genocide is wrong." Period. Like that's.
We talked about this in our. We talked about
this every time.
This is something that the show needed to do. This is one of the things that for those that were around for our video about us being initially really worried about the season.
Yes,
because the messaging was not clear in part.
It had like a very both sides dynamic, which I think
was necessary in order to understand Marley
and to understand the conflict that was happening at the time. Yeah.
However, now that we're deep in the actual rumbling storyline, it's a completely different. It's its own problem.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see I really wanted to see like the fandom not be like as divided on something as basic as, hey, genocide's bad.
And it's like the double-edged sword with the story, because on the one hand, I completely understand the need to sympathize with Eren and to show him in the sympathetic light
exactly
for the first 3 seasons. And I think that by doing so, to have the flip in season 4 makes all of that on rewatch just a lot better. The problem is, I'm just worried now if like the first 3 seasons weren't delivered in the best way possible. And if that's what has led to this divide in the fandom.
And this is something that I think that Wit, when we've talked about this before, Wit's very responsible for the sort of shonen-y elements and the fact that this show was marketed as a shonen when it really never should have been. It should always have had a lot more grit to it.
Because I will say, as someone who was like catching up with it when the manga was being released and like seeing the anime community like on Reddit and like Titan folk, everyone was pretty much in agreement, like going like, at least a majority of people were like, this is wrong. Oh, and Eren's the villain.
Yeah.
Like they kind of all got the point.
Within the manga community.
Yes. Anime community is a different story.
Yeah. And I will say there are, and that's not an umbrella statement, there are certainly people within the manga community that have contributed to this.
For sure.
Like, I think that one of the things that I saw when season 4 part 2 was starting was a lot of the manga people being like, remember guys, Eren's gonna do some fucked up shit and we have to defend him, we're Jaegerist. Which, like,
again, I don't know how much of that is trolling. That's the problem.
Here's the issue. It's very easy to tell when someone's trolling, though.
If they using their face? No. If they're using their face, they're probably not trolling. They're probably being serious.
That's the thing. It was that it's people using their face and throwing their entire backbone behind it. It's not like, ooh, yeah, we're gonna defend him because we're
like
Jaegerists, and and it's like a meme. Yeah, no, that has not been the case.
Yeah, I will say again, I don't know. I don't know what to tell. I really don't know what to say because, like, I don't want to say that it was wrong for Isayama to do this.
I think Isayama's there are there's some more complicated things there that I think we're going to be talking about in a video essay. After all this about how like the image of Japan when World War II's hit all entwined in this, and there are some conflicts of interest in some things that he's doing here that are not very good. Yeah. But the storytelling itself is actually really dynamic. And when you take a look at author intent, it actually is working in a really good way. However, the audience, as far as decoding it is concerned, is doing a really bad job. Yeah. There's nothing really more to say about that. I will say, Hange's speech, we've only ever seen the ghost apparitions
with Erwin,
with 3 characters.
Who's
now Hange, but Erwin and Levi are the only 2 people that we've ever.
When have we seen Levi?
So Levi actually we see right before he tells Erwin to go die. In the final charge.
Yeah. What was Erwin's?
Erwin's has happened, I believe.
The imagery of the mountain of corpses.
The mountain of corpses for Erwin.
Yeah.
But also in Levi's, we see this when if you watched Levi's OVA, you'll recognize the characters from the OVA popping up when he's thinking about the comrades that have been killed in the line of duty.
Are they?
Yes.
I didn't notice that. I only noticed Petra. She's the most obvious one.
Petra's the most obvious one, but I watched the OVA and then watched that episode like 2 episodes after. I was like, holy shit, that they put that in. Yeah, it's a really good attention to detail. The other thing to note is usually when we see that imagery, someone's about to die.
Oh, so you think this is a red flag for...
I've been saying since the beginning, Hange has narratively a giant fucking target on her back. Because I think her only purpose now in the story is to essentially get these 2 units unified and finish off her job as the scout, as a leader, and make sure that there is a future carved in order to deal with this. And she has just begun that process. The The other thing to note on that is I also think Jean has a giant fucking... I think he's up next right now.
Okay.
Because we just spent... I'm sorry, but anytime...
I mean, don't be sorry.
You see a character be like, I just want to live a happy life with this person and this person. And
meanwhile,
this is what I'm thinking about.
Meanwhile, Reiner's like, I want to die. And Isiam was like, nope.
Not allowed, sir.
Yep. Interesting theories. We will have to wait and see because the finale of this, the last moments of this episode clearly lay out the stakes, which we're going to get to. Next, let's talk about Magath and Jean's conversation in the forest. Also, sidebar. Remember how I was like in the reaction? I was like, they keep showing a lot of the woods. If you think about it, I mean, the forest.
You know what? The forest. I wasn't even thinking about that.
I literally are not able to leave the forest, and like they're like deep in it.
Well, there's also kind of there was an extra poeticism of them leaving the forest at the end of the episode after they've started a dialogue with each other, which is also.
I think it's a good save, and like if it weren't for that, I would be like, hey, budget cuts.
But yeah,
but now I'm like, oh, it's budget cuts, but you did something creative with it.
Yeah, it's nice imagery. Yeah. I think Magath. Okay, so
we've talked about it. You like Magath as a character.
And here's the thing. I will absolutely not be defending him in this moment. The things that I like about Magath is how good he is to Eldians that are outside of the walls and off Paradise.
Yes.
However, he has still very clearly grown up on the dogma of the Paradise Devils.
Yes.
So there's really not a lot of saving him with that. This is frankly just what his belief system is.
Yeah.
And it's being fully challenged in this moment. And like you can see on Reiner and Gabbie's face when he's making these claims about Paradise Devils that they're both like, dude, you are so wrong, but I do not have the energy to challenge you right now.
Everyone. Yeah. Even like, yeah.
No,
I mean, Annie, I'm talking about Annie, Gabbie, Falco, and all the other warriors.
The two people that are specifically shown in this moment.
Oh yeah.
Are
Gabbie and Reiner.
Are Gabbie and Reiner, because they're the two people that have come the farthest on this. Because Annie has always somewhat recognized the humanity, but she's only ever cared about going home.
Yeah, that's true. And Reiner has been so entrenched in the whole.
Well, and then he spills his beans about his psychological break.
Yeah,
which maybe you should have talked about that with a therapist and not...
There's no therapy in this world. What the fuck are you on about? There's no fucking therapy.
You know what? That's a fair point. The military has not, at this point, started having...
This is World War II era. This is
mental health doesn't exist.
Yeah, they throw you in the fucking... in the loony bin, and they're like, you go there. That's what they do. Yeah, it's not right, but
no, it's I just felt really bad for Reiner in that moment because this is probably the first time that he's talking to people about hey, I think I experienced a psychological break at this moment and started developing 2 split personalities.
I love how Hange's immediately like what? What do you mean by you can do that?
Yeah.
But going back to just Magath real quick, it is weird that he was just
he's still eating the dogma at this point.
Yeah, and the last thing that he said especially really got to me when he was like, you think that your suffering is anything compared to the 2,000 years of history, which is when you think about it, it's such a fucking nothing burger, because it's saying your suffering, the thing that you personally experienced, is nothing compared to the things that generations ago people that I'm related to experienced.
Yeah. No, it's absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I love that everyone can call them out on it. I love that we're all on the same page with, no, that's bullshit.
Yeah. And that's another, and again, it's partially part of the story and the design of the story, which leads people into these sides.
Yeah.
This scene very much shows that Magath and his side and his belief system
are wrong.
Yes. And that the Paradisians, the people that we have followed, are correct. And people can equate that to the belief that, the Jaegerists are right.
Yeah.
But the problem is...
that's a false equation.
Yes.
Because they're about to inflict the same kind of suffering on other people, if not to the 10th. This is essentially if we were to take what Isayama's idea of where his inspirations from the events of Japan in World War II.
Yes.
This is like if Japan decided to, like, Japan, after all the shit that they caused and after they've had their military stripped away, this is like if they got their military back and just immediately nuked everybody.
Yeah. They're like, we're justified. We're right.
Excuse me. This is like if they were invaded again and then got their military back and then nuked everybody.
Yeah.
Like, generations have passed.
Yeah.
And the people that you would be angry about, like, Armin called it out immediately, like, shouldn't he just be stomping the Marley military? Shouldn't he just be disabling their military? Then nobody's going to come fuck with us for a very, very long time.
Yeah, and it also doesn't really answer the question of people who can change and have nothing.
Capone exists.
Yeah, like he's just a guy.
He just lived in another place that was conquered by Marley and genuinely just did this because he wanted to help Eldians.
Yeah,
like the entire thing that the Jaegerists believe in.
It's fundamentally flawed.
And, like, we have a character in the show that exemplifies why it's fundamentally flawed.
Yeah. Several. Because, honestly, Gabbie and Reiner are also characters who can exemplify the fact that there are people on the other side who aren't all bad.
Yeah, and they are perfectly capable of change.
Yeah.
And they may have committed some atrocious deeds beforehand, but they're perfectly capable of change.
Yeah, I just don't get the Jaegerists. But anyways, let's go to the titular question. Can the scouts kill Eren? Not like physically, can they? But it's more of a, like, do you have the stomach for it? Which is something that Annie posits.
Annie, like, has kind of she's stolen the show a little bit. Like, every time we get a piece of her, it's like, yes.
Yeah. She's probably the most level-headed, and it's because she's had time to think. She's only
putting it lightly.
She's only had time.
I think, first of all, the way that this question and everything is imposed, the way that this plays off of her questioning Mikasa, perfect.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's like, yeah, you guys can try to talk. Like, my only interest is stopping this thing. If you guys think that you could talk him out of it or somehow prevent this without killing him, by all means.
Mm-hmm.
But the question still stands.
There was a good thing that what Annie said and how it triggered Mikasa also was very fascinating, because Annie was saying, like, of course, you're going to stop us. Like, and look at you, Mikasa. Like, I'm sure that you probably in your whole life never found anything more valuable in your life than Eren. Like, which kind of is like a direct attack on Mikasa's own agency, which is something that she's been grappling with. And she's immediately like, well, you want to fucking kill me too? And like, that just...
Yeah.
That setup, I think, was really great. And that line push the right button.
Yeah.
Because...
I mean...
It's true.
Here's the thing. They're all kind of right on that, and also, like, I don't think Connie or John are really going to have a problem with fucking killing him. It really comes down to Mikasa, who, as we've talked about, might be the only character capable of resisting whatever shit the Founding Titan can do. Because we've talked about this before, the Ackermans, thank you, are the only people that can keep their memory when memories have been wiped from all the Eldians.
Yes.
They're the only ones. They're really the like... Again, this is one of the reasons why I think Levi had to be taken care of in the way that he did, because if you had an Ackerman who could kill Eren, it would be
Levi.
It would be Levi, and he wouldn't have any problems doing it, and the show would just be over when that question came down to it. So she's going to kind of have to step into the role that Levi was always supposed to play, which is if Eren gets out of line, Levi has to kill Eren.
Yep, but...
And poetically now it's going to have to be Mikasa.
Yeah, which, how do you think that's going to play out?
Oh,
like, I mean, because emotionally, because...
I think, here's the thing. Character arc-wise, I think she's going to eventually do it. But I also think that she'll be just completely emotionally fucking devastated when that happens. Like, I don't see her, if she manages to kill Eren, I don't see her, like, being able to do anything in the story after that.
Because here's the thing, Eren's like her trauma bond.
Yeah.
Like, that's like she's the only family she's ever had.
Yep.
Not ever had, but like everything got ripped away from her at a very young age. The whole thing in the fucking cabin. And then you're like, I got to protect this man. He's like, he's my everything. And then he tells me that I'm worthless and he's always hated me.
Yeah. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's real bad news bears. But, like, I am glad I'm glad Annie called it out. I feel like the way that I see Annie with the scouts and everything is, first of all, she is the perfect impartial party of like, I'm just doing this to save my dad.
I don't like either of you guys.
Yeah, all of y'all can go fuck yourselves. Yeah. I'm just trying to save my dad.
Yep. What do you think about the prospect of trying to negotiate with Eren?
I think it's foolish. I don't see it happening, like, at all.
Okay.
Like, first of all, I'm not even 100% sure that Eren's driving the ship anymore. Like, it could easily be, like, Ymir. If I'm being honest, it could easily be, like, because first of all, we've talked about the whole thing of, like, is Eren actually free? And there's also, there's another piece of analysis that we totally missed, which is the going back to that episode of Ymir's backstory.
Yes.
The old Ymir, not that's ancient Ymir.
Ymir Fritz.
Ymir Fritz, thank you. Where her eye is gouged out.
Yes.
And then the slaves only have one eye. And a lot of people have pointed out that Eren, in most situations when he's a Titan, especially in this last season, we only see him with one eye.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of that's always shaded out. So there is a major question of, is Eren's will even technically his own if he's still somehow being manipulated by other forces, mainly even Ymir. And even if Eren, like, I'm not even 100% sure that if they can get through to Eren, they can actually get through to Ymir. Because ultimately speaking, it's her power, and for the first time, he just kind of liberated her. We see her with her eyes at the end of that scene. There's no telling what's going on inside that founding Titan right now.
Yeah. The emotions that she's experiencing, because she's not just like a mindless god. Like, she is a person in there.
Yeah. She can take full agency over what happens. She has just been acting as a slave for the longest time.
She's been following the one command, like, give, like, the generation command that he gave to his daughters on his deathbed.
Yeah. And, like, again, like, my big thing is, like, if all that's true and we are going into that, I don't see her just stopping. And there's a chance that they might be able to. There's a chance they might be able to convince Eren. We could be wrong about Eren, and there's a chance that they might be able to convince him. But I just don't know about Ymir. Okay, that is a person that has had so much hate
for 2,000 years. Well, honestly,
so much pain.
Infinite, because again, time is.
Yeah.
It's not just 2,000 years. In the past, a second is like a millennia.
Yeah.
So she's been in there for infinity.
Yep. It's not good.
So
it's really bad.
So let's just move on to, let's just not think about that existential thought right there. Okay. Yelena is finally, like, there's finally a reason why she's, like, alive. And actually, I just want to make sure that this is clearly stated, because it
goes by in a flash.
Yeah. So they say that they're going to use the flying boat that the Osmobitos laid out, Chekhov's gun in the first part. And they need to be able to locate Eren, because if they're just on the plane, they're just going to have to, like, be flying around, like, just trying to search for him. They're running out of fuel.
Yeah.
And so by this time, Eren and the Rumbling Titans are gone.
Yes.
And they've had to rest. It's been like a day already.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to catch up. So that's why Yelena is there. And we finally learn Yelena's true backstory.
She is not from a foreign country.
Nope. She's nothing like Onyan Capone.
Here's the thing. I always thought she looked like a Marleyan and not like any of the like, there was always something about her that, like, I was like, you just look like
European. Yeah.
Well, not specifically that, but she's blonde hair, blue eyes. She's Aryan.
Yeah.
Which, like, if there is a race we are supposed to associate with
it's with
Marley right now.
Yeah. What do you make of that? Just the reveal, and just her character now that we know the truth.
She's really fucking pathetic. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't like her anymore for that piece. Like, here's the thing. I appreciate that she wanted to shut down that part of her was like, I want to shut down Marley, but it doesn't seem like she wasn't driven by Marley. She was driven by Dick.
Yeah, she was driven by Zeke. Wanted that monkey.
No.
I mean, literally, the first time that we're introduced to her, she's like doing a flashback, and it's like Zeke just like back turned to her in like a myriad of colors, and he's like, ah.
You realize that if that is the moment that she decided yes, and decided that she was attracted to this, that makes her canonically a furry.
So yeah, Yelena's not a great person. I'm not even gonna. I can't in good conscience address that.
I will say the thing that was very. We get this whole thing. Magath like completely fucking outs her.
Yeah.
And you made a point in the reaction. I don't know if you decided to include this or not, but she pulls up Envy from Full Metal Alchemist, where she's actively trying to pit everyone against each other and trying to recount all the horrible things.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is the reason why the show gets compared to Full Metal Alchemist a lot, is because you have a bunch of characters that really should not be on the same side that are banding together at the end.
By circumstance.
By circumstance to stop the end of the world. It's... Honestly, Isayama, I can tell you took inspiration from Full Metal Alchemist on the way that this plot kind of came together.
For sure.
Which is perfectly good. Nothing wrong with that. Honestly, I don't know if she realized that she was doing this, but she kind of does the Envy thing where she's accidentally acting as a therapist by, bringing up all of the shit that has happened and, recounting for everyone.
Yeah.
Because, it's not pure anger. When we are seeing the frame, everyone's frames of what's happening and recounting what's happened to who's done what.
It's guilt. Everybody.
We only ever see frames of the people that she's talking about. We do not see the people that they actually hurt in that moment.
Yes.
Because the show wants us to it just wants to remind us that these people know that what they did was horribly wrong.
Yep.
And she's able to list. I think the only people that don't get shit on is Falco.
That's actually the only person.
I think that's
Falco's. Falco's literally the only person who did nothing wrong.
Yeah, I think Falco's the only. Yeah, you're right.
Because even
actually no, I think Falco and Peak somehow dodged the because Peak doesn't have any war crimes.
Well. I mean, by association. That's not
by association with. Well, she serves in the Marley military, but that's not the same thing as being that's a war criminal.
I mean, she rolled the boulders that Zeke threw at the scouts in season 3.
That wasn't a war crime, though. That was just war. Unless you're going to say all Titan war.
If you're living
civilians, they weren't in that moment. He wasn't engaged with civilians. He was engaged with an army that just didn't have the same kind of artillery or
that was in a gated community for fucking 100 years, did nothing wrong, and then has been trying to desperately
war
fight.
Got started by a war. Okay, there's a lot of war crimes, but I actually think that might be one of the few things that was not a war crime.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually think that's one of the only things that...
So Peak is the only one who's innocent of war, because she only started when the war started.
Yeah, technically speaking.
She didn't invade
She didn't do any... She's okay.
Okay.
She's okay.
Sure.
Zeke turned an entire village into Titans. We don't know if she was complicit in that.
No, she was, because she was there.
Oh.
She carried the cats on her back.
Never mind. Yeah. She's a war criminal.
Yeah, she's also a war criminal.
Oh, everyone's a war criminal except Falco.
Except Falco. Let's talk about the biggest war criminal of them all. The one because second to Armin, Reiner.
Yes.
Because, as you mentioned in the episode, they bookmarked it very well. They started the episode with that scene of all the ghosts of the past, all the scouts. One of the faces was Marco's.
Yep.
Jean's former friend, who was killed by Reiner and Andy and Bertold. And Jean finally learns the truth of what happened to Marco.
Yeah. I mean, big surprise what happened with this.
Yep.
I will say he was holding it really well together until Reiner started going into his own shit.
And he like talked about how bad he felt about it.
Yeah.
Because that's I wouldn't want to hear that.
Neither. Well, here's the
here's the thing. It's easier to hate someone.
It is way easier to hate someone than it is to forgive them.
Yes.
And Jean, and also you do not have to forgive someone. However, I do think that Reiner was in his rights to apologize.
Honestly, here's the
thing. There's a difference between getting an apology and accepting it.
Here's the thing. He went from you shouldn't forgive me. Like, I don't even deserve that. And then immediately went to, I'm sorry. So it's like, how is John supposed to take that?
Oh, well.
That, like, you simultaneously, like, because that's...
yeah, well, here's the thing.
I'm not talking about Reiner. I'm specifically talking about Jean and how he interpreted
don't know. I think that he acted completely justly in that moment. I don't think there's a reason why everyone was like waiting a moment before they pulled him off, and like there's a reason why Annie didn't jump in. There's a reason why like the only person that jumped in was Sasha.
Connie.
Not.
R.I.P.
Not Connie, and I gotta confuse. Gabbie is the only person from the Marley side that jumped in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was first of all just brutal. I have complete respect for Reiner for not allowing, because originally Yelena was trying to pin this all
on Annie,
and trying to sew everything in there, but he's like, no, this is
my fault.
This is completely on me.
Yeah.
I'm the one who made the call for it. And like, if we go back to that scene, Annie didn't want to do it.
Yeah, Annie was freaking Annie was the only one who was like distressed the entire time, who cried after the fact.
Yeah.
Who like broke down. Reiner was like, you got to be a warrior, and then like had the psychotic break.
Yeah. And again, I said at the beginning, like, it is a big fucking deal for Reiner to even discuss that he had that psychotic break in the first place.
Yeah.
Should it have been to your victim? Probably not. That being said, like, people who have perpetrated horrible shit, they do need to apologize for their own selves in order to even begin to forgive themselves. However, again, the actual victim or family of the victim or whatever in this situation, friend of the victim, again reserves all right to just not forgive.
Something actually that I want to point out now is a missing piece of dialogue that I did bring up before as we were talking about this. It's very small, but it's in the moment, it's in the cart ride after the fact. And where he says, like, Reiner, I'm not going to apologize to you. And then, you even, like, laughed about it.
You.
Yeah. And, like, Reiner even said, like, that's fine. There's another piece of dialogue after the fact where Jean goes, there's, like, a beat, and then he just goes, I can't forgive you. Like, he, like, even, like, you can see that he's, like, he's tried, and that he's, like, it's not in me to do it. And, like, that, like, and then for Reiner to also accept that. I think that moment needed to be there because it also, I think it would have, because I think in the moment you think, oh, it's just a joke, like how he like grabbed Reiner by the thing like in the morning. I don't know.
It didn't read as a joke to me.
You laughed in the moment.
No, I laughed in the moment because I'm just like, yeah, that's exactly the fucking reaction you should have.
Yeah.
A laugh is not always because of a joke. Sometimes it's because of crazy shit.
Yeah, but still, I think it would have provided more for John as a character to say that he at least like it's like it hurts him to not be able to forgive him because because we see that foil between him and Gabbie.
So like in the actual panel, like it's played out a little bit more that Jean has actively thought on it and is trying.
Yeah,
and
he can't.
It might even be something that he wants to be able to do, but he just can't bring himself.
Yes,
which is okay. That is very different.
Which is paired beautifully because he apologizes immediately to Gabbie.
Yeah.
He's like, I can apologize to Gabbie, and I can like see her because she's a child.
Yeah.
She's like able to, but you're an adult, you know?
There was also a moment in that cart ride where Annie said, "What about me?" after saying like, "I won't apologize." And that was very much left up in the air.
Yeah.
I also think that, like, say what you will about the whole female Titan arc, but the Scouts have a lot less reason to be particularly angry with Annie.
Yeah.
Because fact is, like, Annie had opportunities to stomp out her friends.
Yeah, but
in
didn't.
those moments, but she actively chose not to.
Whereas Reiner and Bertold, like,
they went after, and like, I could see them actually forgiving Annie, because, like, again, when you take a look at everything that she did, just like she had to be following orders, and like, there's a lot less heinous actions that she has committed.
She was trying to get in and out.
Yeah,
like, I just want to get Eren, get back home. That's it.
That's all she wants.
Yeah. But that scene with Gabbie as well was just...
Oh, Gabbie jumping in the way.
Which, again, if people still hate Gabbie, you're wrong. Well,
the issue is that, like... I already know that people are going to be like... Oh, I nearly started playing something. All right, I can already tell that people are going to be like, oh, but she jumped in front of Reiner and defending Reiner, and, like... The community has very mixed feelings on Reiner. I feel like that Reiner we are all kind of on the same page with.
It's because because the conflict exists.
Yeah.
We both know him as a person that we love and like, but also who did all this awful shit.
Yes.
Whereas Gabbie's like this new character who's a child and like killed one person that we liked, whose only role in the story was eating potatoes. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna harp on every person who's like a fucking Sasha stan. Like, I get the love for the character. She's comedic relief. She was probably like one of the lighter parts of the first 3 seasons, but her moments are far, like on the rewatch, her moments are far and few between.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, it really comes down to like the stuff that best comes out of the Sasha storyline comes out after she's dead and is with Gabbie.
Yes. So, and if every other character, even the characters who were like family to Sasha, are able to forgive her, and she is on her knees begging for forgiveness, showing that she's no longer like this person who's been, again, like propagandized from her birth.
But remember, she tried to kill Eren.
Good.
She tried to kill Eren. That makes her immediately bad in the eyes of the fandom.
Well, no, he wouldn't have died because Founding Titan, seeing the future, he knew it was going to happen. There's nothing, like, Gabbie is probably, honestly, I would also say, Gabbie's, like, right above Falco in terms of the guilt. If we're talking about, like, the scale, it's every single adult is, like, way at the top. And even though Gabbie has killed Sasha and, like, two other soldiers...
I think she's got a body count of
3. She's got a body count of 3.
Yeah.
She's like above Falco, but not by much. Again, she's a child.
Yeah. No, completely agree.
Fuck you guys if you think I'm wrong. I'm so mad at people who really don't like Gabbie. But anyway,
the fandom can be very distressing online when you see like how much of a hardline stance people have taken with this kind of stuff.
I think it also just has to do with the fact that 1, it's fiction, and 2, it's the internet.
Yeah, and
if people are more like, I guess, extreme in their wording.
Well, and that's also just the way that we're the complete. I mean, that's how YouTube's designed. That's how TikTok's designed. The more inflammatory you can be, the more an algorithm is going to push it because that's what people pay attention to.
Yep.
Being like, oh yeah, she's an okay character is like me. However, like. And in order for anything on the internet to do well, taking a hardline stance will always amplify it.
Okay, so what you're saying is Gabbie did nothing wrong.
Gabbie did nothing wrong.
Okay, let's move on. Because as they're driving, Cart Titan comes back because that's her job. She's a scout.
Yep.
She's like, oh God, the port's taken over. Jaegerists all over the place. And Flock has captured the I forget her name actually. I just say the Osmobito lady. She is, her clan name is the Osmobito clan, but I don't know her first name.
Wow, you're doing a great job.
Well, whatever. She's being held captive by Flock, and we get that face.
Yeah, very stone. Well, again, like I said it in the reaction, but like for Flock knows that if he fucks this up, he has nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even if they necessarily stop the rumbling. It's like if they get away and can come back, like he's got to stop them now before they can get airborne or do anything else military-wise.
They're like they are the most powerful force. They're probably an equal match to all of those Jaegerists.
And how many? There's a lot of Titan shifters there. Oh
my
gosh.
There's Colossal, which, I mean, again, we can't count Colossal because he's only like Nuke.
Yeah, which, again, I still feel really weird about how inconsistent that has been between the early seasons and stuff.
Yep.
Because, like, we see the Colossal Titan get set off
again
up there with everything else.
Maybe, again, this is another thing where I'm like, I have to like justify it by things that the show has implied, but not explicitly stated.
Maybe he doesn't have control over it.
Maybe he doesn't have the proper training. Because again, Bertolt was trained by the army.
That is fair.
With over 100 years of like...
Yeah, they were able to kind of refine it, understand what's going on there. Eren took a very long time in order to actually understand and master his Titan powers.
Yeah. And Eren's is more like... Again, smaller Titans are just more... versatile. Like you can do more. Like Annie can transform just her hand, like in the one OVA that we saw.
Yeah,
like there's just a lot more uses for it. But we got not counting him, female cart, fucking what's it called?
Jaw,
armored, and jaw. Although
I don't know how useful he's gonna be. It's a baby jaw Titan.
And then we've just got the scouts, and Mikasa's probably top tier.
Mikasa is like equivalent to a small Titan, I think, actually. But and the only reason why this seems like it's going to be daunting is because of the amount of fucking thunder spears we see. Like, they are all armed and ready to fight Titans in that moment.
I also don't think that I think like in the wide shot you could see more, but there are a lot
of them.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not doubting. No, like there's a lot of them, and they all have like two thunder.
Like they probably outnumber them like maybe 10 to 15 to 1.
I think more than that actually. It might be closer to 20 to 1. It does not look good.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. We have what now? 3 episodes left.
Yes.
There is a solid chance that we are going to get a lot of. I think that they actually announced where this season is going to end. I think it's chapter 130. I need to double check that.
It is chapter 130.
I know nothing. I'm not a manga person.
I am a manga person, and I know exactly how the movie's going to start. And oh boy,
oh geez, yeah, it's going to be a doozy. I think that we're going to be looking at. Of course, there's going to be a major battle here.
Yeah,
I think that. I've already talked about where I feel about where Hange's going to go. I am not 100% sure Hange's making it out of this fight. Because poetic wise, this would make her being killed by the Jaegerist, which would make perfect sense for her. She's just started the thing that character wise she would be responsible for, which is building the next alliance and sort of beginning these ties in this conversation so that they can finally get out of the forest. And now that that's happened, I don't actually really know what her use in the story is.
Here's the thing. That's not just true for, honestly, anybody except for the shifters, Mikasa and Armin.
That is fair. It's up there from no, I think Magath might be necessary in the plot.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that because here's the thing: in order for there to be any peace after this, provided that we get a happy ending, Magath needs to exist so that there is a Marleyan leader that understands what the fuck is going on and has maybe been swayed.
That's, again, assuming that there is a happy ending.
Yeah, that's assuming that there's a happy ending. It's Attack on Titan. I do not expect that.
Because here's the thing.
I'm just saying, there is a plot use for Magath.
Fair.
There isn't for...
John, Connie, really Hange, Levi, Gabbie.
Yeah. Actually, no, I think... Well, Gabbie has uses in the sort of happy ending version of this kind of stuff. Also, Gabbie has uses in case Reiner dies.
Oh, yeah.
Armored Titan.
Do they have Titan serum?
I'm not 100% sure that they have Titan serum.
I actually don't think they have Titan serum.
I don't think they have Titan serum. Shit. Oops.
I mean, it is spinal fluids. Like, maybe you could take...
You could potentially just pull it from someone.
Yeah.
There's a chance of that being fixed.
Yep.
But, yeah, it's
not looking good for some characters, is what you're saying?
Hanji's top of my list of like people that could get fucking got, but you are right. The majority of the characters on that list do not have enough plot armor for us to be like, oh yeah, we'll have them after.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying like that they're next, but I'm just saying like
plot armor wise,
the only ones who are like definitely safe, Mikasa and Armin for sure.
Yes,
those are the two.
Everyone else
is like up for grabs.
I think it would be a dick move for him for Isayama to kill Annie this quickly.
Okay. Okay, three.
Yeah, I think three on that. Just because I don't think Isayama went like, I'm going to shelf this character for years, and then I'm going to bring them back for approximately 6 chapters.
Yeah. But everything else, no. He'd kill children. He already did it.
Yep.
So he'll do it. He'll do it again. All right. Anything else you got to say about this episode?
I mean, horribly excited for next episode. Cool. I am here to see some character deaths, one way or the other.
Oh boy. Well, let's. Ooh,
I hate that you're having that reaction because that tells me something bad is going to happen. I'm going to eat my words. Hey,
you never know. It could be, again, Attack on Titan could always have a happy ending. You never know.
You never know.
Join us next time to figure out what happens on that episode of Attack on Titan. As always, I'm Abraham. That's Ben. Leave your thoughts down below in the comments section. We'd love to know what you thought about this episode and our discussion. Do you agree or disagree with some of our points? Let us know. Are you a Gabbie hater? Again,
Gabbie did nothing wrong.
Gabbie did nothing wrong. And if you don't believe that, all right, it's 2Fast2Movie.